Yeah, that'd be good. You can do that after I leave. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio. Is the audio working? Just turned on the chat. All right. Welcome to Street TV with another Eric Holder trial update. And in this video, I want to talk about what actually happened to Eric Holder when he was assaulted in the Los Angeles County Jail on Tuesday morning. Now, a lot of people have been reporting what happened to Eric Holder based on some of the information they were getting from the attorneys. And some of the information the attorneys had was partially correct, and some of it was incorrect. So he was not assaulted by multiple people or two people. He was actually assaulted by one person. This was the works of one person. And the one person was a Latino gang member who was a PC dropout, meaning he was in protective custody. He was not on the main line. So that means that everyone in this holding tank were protective custody guys, PC guys, these 13 people that were in the holding tank. Also, there was no knife used. There was no cutting device used. The cut on the back of the head happened by some other way. But the Mexican gang member, or the Latino gang member from a Mexican gang, he assaulted Eric Holder until he was unconscious. He basically knocked him out. So he hit the floor or hit the wall, but that cut on the back of his head that required 3 staples was not done by any knife or any stabbing device. That happened in the course of him getting assaulted by this, I would say, a PC dropout Mexican gang member. And that's really it on that. Also, he wasn't supposed to be in that holding tank. For whatever reason, the deputies at that time on Tuesday morning decided to put him there. Sometimes you're placed in areas of the county jail you're not supposed to be because of either laziness or some other practical reason. But Eric Holder was not supposed to be in that holding tank. He's supposed to be escorted straight from where he's housed into the court, from his cell to the court by himself. But for whatever reason, they put him in there, and maybe we'll get some more information coming soon, or maybe my source will give me some more information. And a lot of this information that I'm sharing with you guys, it comes from a source, a very reliable source. And I have more information on the guy that assaulted Eric Holder, but I'm going to wait a while before I put that out. I'm not sure if I should put that out. When is a good time to put it out? But I will say, Latino guy, he was a PC, meaning that he wasn't good with his gang anymore, but he was from a gang from Los Angeles, a well-known Latino gang. And the last thing on this was, after the deputies got in there, figured out what happened, they took the dude and they asked him, why did he do this to Eric Holder? And his answer to the deputies was he had recognized that he was in the same holding tank with Eric Holder. So I guess he was a little surprised. He recognized Eric Holder. And because he said he was a fan of Nipsey Hussle, because he was a fan, he decided to take flight on him, and that's all. That's what it is. So to get it clear, it was one guy, no knife, no razor blade, no cutting device used, and he was a PC, protective custody inmate from a Latino street gang in LA. And that's pretty much it on the assault on Eric Holder. And I'll take some questions, and I'm going to wrap this up in a little bit, but I'll stay on here for a few minutes and take some questions. What do you guys got? What gang was he? What gang was he from? The Latin gang. Well, I'll say this: he was from a street gang in LA, and we'll just leave it at that for now. We'll just leave it at that. He's from a well-known. He's from a well-known street gang in LA. Who took that picture of Eric Holder? Oh yeah, I'm gonna post a short article about what happened to Eric Holder, and I'm gonna post some photos of his injuries. I already put one out there. I put that one on Instagram. I put it on Facebook, and I put it on Twitter. And so many people stole it and did what they wanted to do with it. But I got a few more. I think I got two more, two or three more. So I'm gonna put that on an article, and there'll be a link in the description to this video to that article, to the photos of Eric Holder showing his injuries um, shortly. Let's go through a couple of these questions. He's probably from Florence. I can confirm he is not from Florence. I'll say that much. Has Eric Holder spoke during the trial? Eric Holder has not spoke during the trial. I guess he listens to his attorney very well, because I'm sure his attorney gave him the procedures and protocol on how to act and how to conduct himself in a trial. You know, this is all new to him. He's 33 years old, never been on trial before, even though he's a Crip and even though he's been through the system once before. He's never been on trial, and he was on his best behavior. I watched how the deputies handled him. I watched how the deputies told him where to move, where to sit, and he complied with everything. Never spoke in the presence of the media. I know he has spoke when the judge asked him some questions that we weren't there for, and you know the judge had a conversation with him after he was assaulted. I don't know if that's on the record or not. Maybe it is. We'll find out. But none of the media, no one was in the courtroom. The jury was gone. Everyone was gone. The audience was gone. He still came into court after he came back from the hospital, and the judge had a short conversation with him. I guess basically to ask him, I'm gonna take a guess. We'll see when the transcripts come out. He's probably asking him, "Are you in a good enough condition to continue trial tomorrow morning?" And then he said yes, and he was back in court Wednesday morning. All right, what else we got here? Do you think the courts will release the court video of Shitty Cuz getting hit? I don't know, because I don't know if every single holding tank in the LA County Jail has cameras. That's a good question. I don't know if it does. It may not even been recorded, but if you've been in the LA County Jail, leave a comment right here in the chat and let me know whether or not there are cameras in the average holding tank. Has it been confirmed that Eric Holder has paperwork? It hasn't been confirmed that there's any paperwork on Eric Holder. When the autopsy photos were being shown, did dude look at them, show any emotion about it? I wasn't looking at Eric Holder when the autopsy photos were shown. I was looking just right at the screen, and I was typing and taking notes. I didn't spend a lot of time looking at him. There were a few times I was told that he turned around and looked at us in the audience, but I never got a chance to look at him. I never locked eyes with him. But in order for the death penalty to apply, the district attorney, they have to file this case as a death penalty case from the beginning, meaning it needed to be filed as a special circumstance case, which they did not do. So death penalty is not on the table. Did Stupid pose cuz for you for that photo? That's from Westside. No, I did not take that photo of Eric Holder. Someone else took that photo of Eric Holder and sent it to me. If convicted of first, already answered that. What is your verdict prediction? Man, that's a tough one. If you listen to the closing arguments that are posted on Street TV, John McKinney, he laid it out. He laid out how this is not anything short of first degree. But then if you listen to Aaron Jansen talk about heat of passion and cooling off period, he makes a great case for manslaughter. So I'm on the fence. I can't call it. I'm gonna let the jury decide and respect whatever decision they render. No cameras in holding tanks, according to. Oh man, who said that? Who typed in? Was that High Life 600? Yeah, High Life 600 said there are no cameras in holding tanks. Then, if that's true, that means there's no footage of Eric Holder getting touched up. So I guess we'll never. To answer the previous question, will we see that footage? Probably not, because it's most likely there was no camera in the holding tank. They don't have cameras in holding tanks. They have them in the hallways. That's coming from Life. Life is ill TV. No cameras in holding tanks. Has Cowboy been getting a lot of hate for testifying? Are you under a rock? There's been a lot of people that have been expressing their issues with Cowboy testifying. So you can go online and watch all those videos and go check that out. Did they slash him? Marcos Amada. No, I mentioned earlier that the cut on the back of the head was most likely not caused by any sort of weapon, knife, or sharp device. That just happened in the fight, and he did fall down. So I can't tell you exactly how that cut on the back of the head happened. Hitting the wall, hitting the floor, I don't know, but it happened, but not by a knife, razor blade, or a cutting device. And I will show photos of that injury up close. There'll be a link in the description of this video, and you'll be able to check that out and, you know, determine yourself what you think caused it. Bashed his head. That's also another way. Fat Daddy could have just hit him one time to the wall or to the ground. Is it odd that Eric would drive all the way from Long Beach with two guns just to go to Master Burger? LA has so many burger spots, Fat Burger, Rally's, Tams. Isn't that odd? I don't think it's that odd that he drove there, because he drove to where he's comfortable. He drove to where he's knowledgeable of. He's not going to get a burger. He's not going to go to what's that place on Vernon? Oh no, yeah, Vernon. He's not going to go on Vernon to A1 Burger. He's not going to go to Hawkins to get a burger. He's going to go where he's comfortable. So Fred Mack, yes, he was knocked unconscious. That dude actually put him to sleep. A1 Burger is gone. A1 Burger on Vernon is gone. I didn't even know that. When did that happen? I'm surprised he's not a keep away inmate. Well, let me tell you, um, one of the definitions that he is. He's considered a K10. Now, all you LA County Jail dudes, you tell me what a K10 means. You're getting this information. This is never reported information before, but I got from a extremely reliable source that he's a K10. So someone tell me what a K10 means in LA County Jail. K10 is keep away. Yeah, and when you're a keep away, that means you're supposed to be escorted to and from court and your cell alone, by yourself. So that means the deputies either made a mistake by putting him in that holding tank, or they just didn't care. But the holding tank had PCs. So I'm thinking that they probably, for whatever reason, had to put him in the holding tank real quick. They figured, okay, this holding tank got PCs in it, so Eric Holder should be okay in this holding tank. But yeah, he's the K10 designation, also on a red wristband, is reserved for protective custody inmates who require single man cells, suspected or confirmed prison gang member dropouts. He wasn't supposed to be around anyone. So let me ask you guys this, to all my LA County jail guys. He has been escorted to and fro by himself, the way he's supposed to be, every day of this trial. But Tuesday morning, the deputies put him in a holding tank. What are the possible reasons that they would put him in that holding tank? Although it was a small one, 13 people. Some of these holding tanks got 50, 75, 100 people in them. There was only 13 people in there, and those guys were PCs. So why do you think, for however short amount of time he was in there, why would the LA County Sheriff deputies put him in that holding tank? It was done on purpose off top. Lorna Strawn. I want to hear from LA County jail folks, because yeah, it might have been done on purpose, but there might have been some other practical reason too, where they just decide, hey, real quickly, just put him in there because we're busy doing something else, and then we go get him, when we're done. Corcoran set that up. It was a crowded court date, and they slipped up. Because this is a high-profile inmate and a high-profile case, I wonder if those deputies that put him in that holding tank would be reprimanded. Would they get in trouble? Or is this just, another day at the job? Yellow LBC said they put him in there for transport reasons and thought he would be cool. I kind of think that's a possible answer. I don't think that anything was deliberate done on the deputy's part, thinking that they wanted him to get tossed up. I think that the holding tank had PCs in it. One, two, there was only 13 people in that holding tank. And what happened was probably unexpected. They got a holding tank with 13 people, and a Mexican took flight on them. And let me correct myself. I'm not saying he's a Mexican. He was from a Latino street gang in LA, and we always assume that everybody in most South Sider hoods are Mexican, and probably 70% of the time you'd be right. But there's a lot of Central Americans in these same barrios, so who knows where where his ethnic background is. They probably didn't think anybody there was a threat to him. That's possible, but it just lets you know that just because you're a PC don't mean you're still not dangerous. Alex, do you believe that Eric killed Nipsey mainly because of jealousy and because Nipsey didn't care to listen to his CD after listening to the trial? Well, if you listen to John McKinney's closing statements, that's what he's trying to convince the jury, that this had more to do with jealousy than the conversation about snitching. So John McKinney's, smart prosecutor. He's trying to divert the jury away from the snitching conversation and just more towards this guy was just jealous of Nipsey, because there is a chance he can get the manslaughter, but the only way he gets the manslaughter is if he's triggered by that conversation that had snitching and paperwork discussed. John McKinney knows that, so he's basically saying there's no way that's the reason why Eric Holder was killed. He was killed because of jealousy. And, a lot of people in the public believe that too. So that's his strategy. I believe that conversation was the trigger. That 4-minute conversation to me was the trigger. But I'm not on the jury. All right, I'm going to get off this in 8 minutes. All right, people. I'm going to get off this thing in about 8 minutes. And if you guys are up later tonight, maybe I'll do a late night or early morning live for you guys. How much time do you think he'll get? He's going to get something if he's found guilty of all charges. He's looking at like anywhere between 60 years to almost 100 years to life. If he's found guilty of the first degree murder, first degree attempted murder, 2 first degree attempted murders, plus the felon with the gun, plus the discharging the gun. I think if you add all that up, you're over 90 years on that. Like Jay Boogie said, he's gonna get all day. Or as we also say, he's gonna get washed up. Or as the newer generation says, he's gonna get football numbers. So I tend to go with all day. He's gonna get all day. All day means more than 50 years. James Thomas asked about a gang enhancement. There were no gang enhancements filed in this case. And initially there were 5 felonies. If you were paying attention to the closing arguments, there were 6 felonies. But the 3 main ones are the 2 attempted murders and, of course, the murder on Nipsey Hussle. Also, I want to apologize for the low volume on those 2 videos that I posted. I could redo the audio and repost them. I think I might do that tomorrow for some people that were complaining. That was from the pool videographer. He shot it that way. The judge didn't allow a microphone in the court, but I could have manipulated the audio in the program that I was editing in, but I didn't think to do so because I could hear it on my end. But once it got uploaded, it got compressed. It kind of, I guess, had an impact on the audio. So I might re-upload those 2 with higher, more clearer audio. 225 Hurricane, the details on the assault. Well, once I end this live, which I'm about to do in about 4 minutes, you can just go back to the beginning of it. I gave some details on that assault. What you mean? When did they bring it? It was a part of the trial from the second day that got introduced as an exhibit, and it's in color, and it's a very clear view of Eric Holder walking into the Master Burger. And according to the testimony from Detective Cedric Washington, he believes walking into the Master Burger. And according to the testimony from Detective Cedric Washington, he believes that he had the smaller gun in the front right pocket. When will we get the sentence date? Well, usually the sentence date follows the conviction date by about a month. So if he gets convicted next week, we'll say first week of July, he'll be convicted in the first week of July for something. That means he'll be sentenced at some time in August. So let's say mid-August he gets sentenced, and then within 60 days of that sentence, he'll be on a prison. So do the math on that and tell me, what month do you expect Eric Holder to be in a California Department of Corrections facility? I'm trying to answer your questions. They're just going too fast, and I don't like scrolling backwards. Well, look, I'm gonna have to get off this live in about a minute, but if I'm not too tired later on, that'll be probably sometime in the 1 o'clock a.m., between 1 and 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Maybe I'll jump back on here. Any chance the autopsy photos ever get made public? I believe as of Thursday, all the exhibits were made public. I can't confirm that 100% because I had walked out the courtroom, so I didn't. I don't know if there were any exhibits that were sealed. If that's the case, I didn't hear it. But when the trial's over, all of those exhibits become public record. So, and there's no reason. So, the autopsy photo of Nipsey Hussle. All right, people, I gotta go. I know it's a lot of folk up in here, and I hate to end this room, but I'll try to tap back on between 1 and 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll try to get back on here. Thanks for tapping in with Street TV.